Students of year 7, and this is lessons 3.7 explanation of the geometric model, page 64. Okay, so long ago people looked up at the sky and wondered why the stars moved. You see that the stars are moving. Why? This is a question. People have always asked the questions about the way that the sun, stars, and planets moved and why. In the past, when people observed something peculiar, like the sun rising and setting and the seasons of the year, they made up stories and retold them to other people that retold them to other children these stories. Of course, story, it's not true, okay, it's not scientific. There is a difference between stories and scientific explanation. When scientists observe something, they ask questions. We call it scientific questions, right? For example, why do the stars and planets move in a way that they do? They then find evidence, a proof, by making more observation or taking more measurements. So this allows them to develop the explanations. Sometimes explanation used a model. What is a model? A model, it's a physical or mathematical way of explanation how something works. It's a representation of a phenomena. It's like a small system with a small stuff that represent, for example, the solar system. We can bring one big ball, like one basketball, and then one smaller ball and one smaller ball, like basketball and tennis ball and ping pong ball. Okay, the basketball represent the sun, the tennis ball represent the earth, and the ping pong represent the moon. And we can do a small experiment. It's not real, right? It's not real, but it's a small model that represents a phenomena. So that's why we called it as a model. So, for example, the model of the solar system. What is the model of the solar system? Many balls represent the sun, Earth, Venus, Mercury, Neptune, whatever. Models are just the right size, often used to represent things that are very small or very large. Even if I want to explain the movement of the electrons and the protons of the cells, which is very small, I need a model, only a representation also by a ball, that this is the neutron, and this is the proton, this is the electron, whatever. This is a model just to let the people understand the phenomena, but it's not real, because we can't do an experiment on the solar system, which is because of the distance, of course, very large distance or very small distance. Useful for studying cells and particles of matter that are too small to see with the unaided eye. Also useful for studying objects that are too large to see completely, such as the Earth or the solar system. The invention of numbers and of writing were important in making explanation. So the numbers and writing, it's important to the explanation, right? Without numbers, people could not make measurements if they could not write down their measurements. How can we know that the distance between the sun of the earth is 150 million kilometers? How? We must make a measurement and write the number, or we forget the number, of course. They could not look for patterns. Now, the geocentric model. two Greek astronomers called Plato and Aristotle, who lived 2400 years ago, believed that the Earth was at the center of the universe and developed the geocentric model. So, what is the geocentric model? The geocentric model is a model that discovered by two Greek astronomers called Plato and Aristotle. These two astronomers, the first thing you must or you should know about this model, it's not the correct model at all. It's only a model to explain the movement, but it's not totally correct. What is the geocentric model? The geocentric model depends on the Earth, that the Earth at the center of the universe, and the moon is revolving around the Earth, then Venus revolving, then the sun revolving, then Mars, then blah 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 blah. So the Earth is fixed and it's at the center of the universe, which is not true. And the second planet is Moon, which is also not true, because Moon is not a what? It's not a planet. It's a universe. Sorry. It's a satellite, natural satellite. Universe. Okay. So what is geocentric? The word geocentric. Geo in the Greek language, it's the Earth. Centric, it's the center. So the center, the Earth centers. Why? Because the Earth is at the center of the model. In this model, the Earth was not moving, but the stars and the planets moved around the Earth, which is not true. Greek astronomers believed there were 7 planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the Sun, and the Moon. For sure, the Sun and the Moon, they are not planets. One, the Sun is a star, the Moon is a natural satellite, and then there were stars beyond them. Now practice, please, students, all of you, put a paper in front of you and write down on your paper or your notebook, copybook, the following questions and answer each. What is the position of the Earth and the Sun with respect to the geometric model? You can go away to these 2 slides to answer these questions. This slide and this slide. I will send the PowerPoint to the group. So this is the first question. The second question, the Greek astronomers believe that there is 7 planets revolving around the Earth. Name them. And the third question, is this model logical for a long time ago? Is it logical for a long time ago, or it's not logical? In the geocentric model, all the objects moved on sphere around the Earth. The stars were on spheres farthest from the Earth. All the spheres moved at steady speed, which is not correct. And the Earth and other objects were spherical. Light could travel through the spheres called crystalline spheres. People found it easy to believe the geocentric model because people could not feel the ground that they were standing on moving. But the model did not explain why the planet seems to wander across the sky. They did not always go in the same direction. Because of that, another Greek astronomer called Ptolemy, who lived 1,800 years ago, designed an updated version of the geometric model. What is the update version? Ptolemy's model said the planet orbit around the Earth in circles and also travels in circles on the orbit. Yeah, I will explain. That means that when the moon is orbiting the Earth in a circle, also the moon is orbiting the circle around itself. Like that. look at the cursor of the mouse. This is the moon. It's revolving around the earth, and it's revolving around itself, not spinning, revolving. Okay, there is a lot of difference between spinnings and revolving. Let's watch a short video to make things clear. Oh, sorry, I want to enter to the file. You see, this is the earth, is fixed. All the stars around the earth are moving. And what also? This is at the center of the universe, with respect to the geocentric model, of course, not with respect to the science. This is the sphere, and this is the earth, which is the center of this sphere, which is the universe. Now, this, for example, look at this planet. It's revolving around itself, and it's moving around the Earth. You see? Look, this planet. It's revolving around itself and revolving around the Earth. A small circle, and it's continue its way, small circle and continue its way, like that. Small circle and continue its way. They believe in this model, but it's not the true. It's not correct, sorry. And so on, like that. Let's make it more clear. First of all, this planet is the same as this planet, but we draw circles to make things clear only. So look at the circles. Okay, so it's revolving around the Earth, and it's revolving around the axis. So revolving a small circle and continue with a big circle. This is the updated geocentric model. Updated by which scientist? Ptolemy. And that's it. Okay, so let's continue our lesson. Okay, Ptolemy believed that the Earth was the center of the universe because half of the stars were above the horizon and half were below the horizon. If the Earth was not at the center, the numbers of stars above and below the horizon would not be the same. But it's not correct, of course. Actually, the stars do move, but they are so far away you cannot see the movement without a telescope. For sure, stars, they do move, but they are so far away. If we want to see the movement, we need a telescope. Ptolemy's model was very successful because it could explain lots of observation and make predictions. Prediction of the movement of the planet. It would take evidence from the things that people couldn't see to change the scientific explanation. Aristotle thought the Earth was the center of the universe because if you drop something, it falls toward the Earth. He believed that all objects fell towards the center of the universe, so the Earth had to be at the center. That's it. Please, when you finish, only the summary questions that it's include only 3 parts. And it needs only 5 minutes. Please solve it and send the solution to my WhatsApp account. The deadline is at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much, year 7.